Good afternoon, guys. Today we have lesson 7 in our math. We are converting mixed measures, all right? And I think it was lesson 4 of this last book. No, lesson 1. Lesson 1 of this last book. Our title was adding mixed measures. So we were adding our mixed measures together in lesson 1. And today we're learning about how we can convert our mixed measures from one unit to another. So we're going to be working with feet and inches, and today we're going to not add them together, or actually we are, but we're going to convert them to either our smaller unit or our larger unit first, and then add them together, all right? So let's read at the top of page 27. It says, when we add, subtract, multiply, and divide mixed measures, it is sometimes easier to first convert them completely to one measure or the other. And what it means by that is if we have, let's say we have 8 feet and 7 inches. So it would be easier to convert to just either completely one unit, and we can do that by either converting to our larger unit, which is feet, or our smaller unit, which is inches, all right? And we'll get into how we do that a little bit later, all right? Let's keep reading. It says lengths are often given as feet and inches. So here we have 8 feet and 7 inches means 8 feet plus 7 inches. We can add, subtract, and multiply or divide a measurement that is in feet and inches. But we can simplify the problem by converting the measurement to either feet or inches, all right? And we can use that by using our conversion factor, all right? And I'm gonna go ahead and pause our video, and we're gonna go over what conversion factor means, all right? So right here in this little box goes over what our conversion factor is. It says the conversion factor is the number of small units that equal the larger unit. For example, if you are converting between feet and inches, the conversion factor is 12 because 12 inches equal 1 foot. If you are converting between hours and minutes, the conversion factor is 60 because 60 minutes equal 1 hour, all right? So that's what our conversion factor is when it's talking about using our conversion factor to convert from one unit to another, all right? All right, so now we know what our conversion factor is. Let's jump into our converting part, all right? To convert to our larger measure, remember what it means by that? So we have 8 feet and 7 inches. We're converting to our larger measure. Which is larger, feet or inches? Feet is, right? So we're going to convert to our larger measure. What about hours and minutes? Which one's larger? Hours larger, right? And same thing down here. Pounds is larger to ounces, so we're going to convert to our larger measure, which is going to be our feet, hour, and pounds, all right? So, to convert to the larger measure, write the number of the smaller measure over the conversion factor, all right? So did you catch that? And remember, our conversion factor is the number of small units that go into our larger unit. And to convert to our larger measure, all we have to do is write our larger measure, and then we write the smaller unit, which would be 7 inches, over our conversion factor, which would be, how many inches go in a foot? 12, right? So we have 8 and 7/12 of a foot, all right? And now, when we're doing this, notice it says, reduce the fraction to simplest form. So when we convert this to our larger measure, we need to make sure we reduce that into simplest form. We'll get into that in our next one, all right? We have 6 hours and 15 minutes. Our hour is our larger unit, correct? So we're going to write 6 hours. Now, our smaller unit is 15, so we're going to write 15 over our conversion factor, which would be what? How many minutes go into an hour? 60, right? So we write 15 over 60. Now, can we reduce this fraction? Yeah, we can, right? We can reduce it by, we could reduce it by 15, right? Because 15 would go into 60 4 times. So we could reduce it to 6 1/4 hour, all right? Okay, so we have to make sure we reduce our fraction into simplest form. Now for the last one, we have 2 pounds over 6 ounces. 2 pounds and 6 ounces. So we're going to write our larger unit. We have 2 pounds and then 6. How many ounces are in a pound? 16, right? So we write 6 over 16. And the same thing, we need to make sure we reduce this to simplest form. Can we reduce that? Yes, we can. We can reduce it to 3, we have 2 and 3/8 of a pound. All right, so that is how we convert it to our larger measure, like our foot, our hour, and our pound, all right? Now, we're gonna move on to the next part on to convert to smaller measures, all right? All right, now we're working with the same 3 problems, only this time we are converting to our smaller unit. So we'll be converting to our inches, that's smaller than feet, and our minutes and our ounces, all right? So let's read that little paragraph about converting to smaller measures. To convert to smaller measures, we multiply the larger measure, which would be our 8, our 6, and our 2, because those are our larger measures, by the conversion factor, all right? And then we add the product to the smaller measure, all right? So to convert to our smaller unit, we take our larger unit, which is our hours, which would be 8. We go 8, and then it says we have to multiply it by our conversion factor. So remember, our conversion factor is 12 because 12 inches go into a foot. So now we have to go 8 times 12, which is going to equal, if you look in your book, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, right? So we have 96 inches that we've converted. Now we have to just add this, add it to your smaller measure, which is going to be 7. So now we're going to have 103 inches, all right? Now we're going to do the same thing with our next step. We have 6 hours and 15 minutes. What is our conversion ratio for our hours and minutes? How many minutes go into an hour? 60, right? So we're going to have 360 minutes, and then we have to add that to our smaller unit. So we're going to go plus 15, which equals 375. Oh, it's getting small. You probably can't read that. 375 minutes. I don't know why I'm this far over. I should have started over here. And for our last one, we have 2 pounds, and our conversion ratio is 16, so 2 times 16 would be 32. And then we're going to add it to our smaller unit, which is 6, which is going to equal 38 ounces. All right? So that is how we then convert to our smaller unit. All right? If you have any more questions on that, you can just rewatch the video, or you can go ahead and give me a call or a message, and I can go over it with you some more. So just remember, to convert to your larger measure, you write the number over the smaller measure. You write the number of the smaller measure over the conversion factor, and then reduce your fraction to simplest form. To convert to the smaller measure, you need to multiply the larger measure by the conversion factor, and then add that to your smaller unit. And then you'll come up with all 1 unit of measurement, all right? So it's really pretty simple and a lot of fun too. It's a lot of fun converting. And that is all for your new part. For your We Remember, you guys on page 29, you guys are deciding which graph you are wanting to use for your graph that you're drawing for this light unit. Which kind of graph is most suitable for the information that you will be showing on your graph. So with whatever you guys are drawing, or whatever measure of data you guys picked out in lesson 4 about what you're going to draw, think about it and think which graph you guys would want to use and would best suit the information you want to show, all right? So whether you want to use a pictograph, a bar graph, or a line graph, just read over that and decide which graph you're going to want to use for that. right, and that is all for your new part. And hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys later.